Working direct mail leads is the best and most effective way for selling final expense life insurance on a face-to-face basis. Direct mail is the old tried and true lead that all the top producers work. Why? Well, it's a card that the prospect actually has to fill out by hand and then stick in the mail. Now you're able to actually show them the exact card that they filled out while you're door knocking the lead. In this video, we're going to share with you exactly what I did in my very first year selling final expense and why you may want to apply the exact same method today. By the time you've watched this video, you'll know exactly how to work direct mail final expense leads. So stick around. One of the first things I was taught was to door knock all the leads. Yes, every single one. My very first manager said the only way to make it in Florida was to door knock every lead. For me, being a brand new final expense agent, this advice was right on the money. When Mariana and I got into final expense sales, we door knocked every single lead for about the first 6 months or so. By doing this, we became pros at door knocking and overcoming objections while we were door knocking leads. We had accepted that door knocking leads works the best and that calling to set appointments probably wouldn't work for us in Florida. Now, hold on a second. Just to be clear, guys, I'm not saying that this is what you should do. Here's a tip. When you're door knocking your direct mail leads, be prepared to overcome objections. When the prospect tries to schedule an appointment with me at the front door, in other words, get me to come back, or they give me some excuse or reason that I can't come in right now, this is only going to take a few minutes to go over, and you know what? You're either going to be pleasantly surprised, Mrs. Jones, or not, and at that point, we're going to shake hands, and I'll be on my merry way. If this is your first time checking us out, feel free to subscribe as we are putting out new training videos all the time. Also, please give us a thumbs up, as this is a great way to let us know that you're actually watching our videos. Okay, so back to when we started calling to set appointments. You see, during a heavy rain week, I decided to try calling the leads. Let me explain. I drove over 2 hours to the area that we were working in at that time and ended up getting rained on all day long. Went back the next day, same thing. Out of frustration, I picked up the phone and started calling to schedule appointments. Guess what? It worked. I was able to set appointments off of around half of the people that I actually spoke with. The main reason that it was immediately easy for me to set appointments was, well, because of two things. One, I had already had experience setting appointments back when I was doing mortgage protection sales. So I knew how to set appointments off of mortgage protection leads, which are much harder to set appointments from. And two, I was selling final expense in smaller cities and rural areas where the people are a lot easier going and much nicer compared to the big city where we live. Before I get back into this video, I'm going to suggest one more time, guys, that you hang in there and stick around until the end. That's when I'm going to show you how to get this new agent starter kit that has 8 different items in it that you're going to want to use when selling final expense. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet or given us that thumbs up to let us know that you're watching the video, please do it now. Here's the bottom line, the real skinny for working direct mail leads. It's going to be up to you whether you call the leads first or just door knock them. The nice thing about calling first is that even if the people blow you out, you can always door knock the lead a few days later, and if they complain, just say something like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Jones, was that you? My apologies. Well, you know what? Since I'm already here, do you think we can sit down somewhere real quick? It usually takes about 15 minutes. I'll give you the short version. Where can we sit down?" So if you want to be successful, the best way to make the most of your time and the most effective way to end up working your direct mail leads is to call through every single one of them 8 to 10 times on your phone days and book your field days up the best you can. On your field days, you want to door knock your leads between your appointments. The trick is to stay busy and very active on both your field days and your phone days, and get the most out of your time. Don't take days off to run personal errands. That's like the prospect saying, "Oh, you can't come over tomorrow. I have a doctor's appointment." Like, what, they're going to spend 12 hours at the doctor's office? Look, you're not going to have to go out for a 12-hour day and run your personal stuff. It's just not necessary. Commit to working full days, 5 to 6 days a week, and you'll be successful. You're also going to need to decide for yourself when it's time to go from door knocking your leads to setting appointments, or whether to start setting appointments right from day one. You may even decide to just stick with door knocking. It's really up to you. At some point, every single agent actually considers finding an appointment setter. I know exactly what you're thinking, guys. For now, forget about it. The last thing you want to do is hire an appointment setter before you're already a pro at setting your own appointments. The only time you should be using an appointment setter is if you're working at least 30 direct mail leads a week. If you're working less than that, it's going to be hard to find an appointment setter to even want to work with you. Remember, an appointment setter is only going to call through your leads a few times a day. In most cases, this just isn't enough. I suggest calling through your leads again 8 to as much as 10 times a day. FYI, a professional appointment setter won't want anything to do with telemarket leads or even Facebook leads. They're only going to work with you if you're keeping them busy with enough direct mail leads to keep them busy. And they're only going to cherry pick through your leads. An appointment setter will never work your leads as hard as you should be working the leads. When is it time to give up on a lead? Great question, guys. When you've called that lead a bunch of times for weeks, door knocked the lead several times, have left the delivery notice and are pretty sure they don't even live there anymore, well, that may be when it's time to toss that lead, and not 1 second earlier. Want to know how to door knock direct mail leads, overcome objections while door knocking leads, what to say when calling the leads, and what to say when they object to you coming over? Just go to our playlist called Basic Training. If you click on this little tab that just popped up right here, just let the videos roll. You'll see videos covering all the basics, and you might even learn more from this playlist than you will from your own manager or upline. Back to using an appointment setter. I started using one when I was getting 40 to 50 leads each week and really needed someone to help maximize Mariana's and my time while we were in the field. So with that being said, if you're already out in the field working at least a minimum of 30 leads a week and you're in the process of pulling the trigger on increasing your leads, that's when you might want to consider finding an appointment setter. My suggestion is to try to find a family member or someone that you can definitely trust and train yourself. Finding someone who's already doing this is probably not going to be as effective for the simple fact that they've already trained themselves to only dial through your leads a few times per day and are already skilled at picking the low-hanging fruit. Again, an appointment setter will never work your leads as hard as you should be working them. Whether you go with an appointment setting company or you hire someone on Craigslist, there's no guarantees that your setter will actually do their job, as most people have a pretty shitty work ethic. For a copy of the new Agent Starter Kit that I mentioned earlier, email me at doug@ufesonline.com. If you'd like more information on working with us or getting information about our final expense sales program, which includes first-year commission levels starting at 100 to 120%, access to our fixed cost direct mail leads program, and our online 30-day training program, email me at that same address. Remember, when you put the needs of your clients first, the rest will always take care of itself. Now go out there and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting!